has been a little girl in my life. She's 7 years old, and she stood in front of me for a long, long time before I really knew her as intimately as I do now. She was right in front of me in her father's arms. Her parents used to bring her into the service for the worship time, and then they would take her to the nursery when they started the sermon. Well, she was right in front of me, and her daddy would hold her, and her little face would be looking back at me. Well, I'm done then. I'm done. Because I cannot resist that. Especially she would wear shoes and I'd be able to point to those shoes and go, oh yeah, oh yeah, those are some good shoes. The cutest thing you have ever seen, and fearfully and wonderfully made, because when God made this particular child, she is I'm telling you, one of the cutest little girls you've ever seen in your life. And so fearfully and wonderfully made that she has a full hand on one side and a hand that's a little bit shorter on the other side. But let me tell you, you never even notice it once you are caught up in that contagious personality. So I've known this child all her life. And here recently, I had the opportunity to go back when she was about to be baptized and put a little necklace around her neck for her to be baptized in, and then got to go over to her house afterwards and celebrate it with her. And for some unknown reason, these little girls just accept me, this middle-aged woman, old enough to be some of their grandmothers. And they accept me. And so a couple of weeks ago, she brought me a present to church. And this was it. Maybe some of you have seen those places. It's called Build-A-Bear, where you can go and put it together. She put it together with her own two hands, which has very special significance to me. And I want you to hear part of her letter. Miss Beth, that's what they all call me. I love you, Miss Beth. You are the best, and I mean that. Miss Beth, you can get your present. I built it. This was my favorite part. I built it so you would be thrilled. I mean, she knew. She was waiting for me to have a reaction. She said this, I knew you will be shocked. And she spells it all phonetically because she just couldn't wait. She said, I knew you since I was a baby. And then half of the page from that point on goes, I love you so much, so much, so much, so much, so much. I was so stricken. I knew that what she needed me to do was jump up and down. And I did do some of that. But I burst out in tears. And I got down on my knees and looked, she's a tiny little thing, and looked in her face and said, Abigail, I know it is hard to understand why Miss Beth is crying right now over your present, but I am so happy. I said, how could I be so blessed that you would love me? Why in the world would you have decided to love this middle-aged woman that you might never have even noticed? He can set the lonely in families. She will never, I mean, this wasn't pearls before swine. Nobody has given me a stuffed animal in years, but I got me one. I got me one, built with her own two hands. The love of family, the love of family. When I looked at the little sheet that they fill out, the birth certificate, they have a birth certificate for the bear. It gives the date of birth, it tells all about it, who you're giving it to, and I looked at the name, and the name is Grace. Yes, just Grace. Just Grace.